So, take like classic 1950s aliens, such as Roswell, New Mexico, Area 51, all that stuff, and assume, okay, so they want to invade us, take over the world, destroy cities, whatever. Now what? That's where XCOM comes in. XCOM is basically a hypothetical, what if there was a multinational paragovernmental agency designed specifically to combat alien invaders? Like, XCOM itself stands for extraterrestrial combat. Okay, so the XCOM games are strategy games seen from an isometric viewpoint, so looking top down, whatever. They put you in place as like a character in the game. The player is the commander of XCOM. So as a result, they are either directly responsible for their actions and like the state of their squad, resources, management, all that stuff, or they are also responsible for like the events of the story. If the aliens win, it's their fault. If they win, it's their doing. And as a result of that, it really creates an engaging sort of, not really fantasy, because a lot of shit happens. Like, you'll lose units, you'll lose missions, and a lot of the time it's just relentless. So like the aliens don't stop, they don't slow down, whatever. One of the biggest things that XCOM does is because of the fact that you are put directly into the shoes of the commander, the responsibility is placed directly onto your shoulders. It makes you feel like a hero through like music, production, how other characters talk to you after a successful mission. Like, the way characters talk to you after a failed mission is important as well, because you've got that baseline anyway. So it makes you feel like a hero through the music, the actions, everything that happens. If one of your squad members hits a really low percentage shot, that's a victory in itself. So XCOM is just all about those little victories, and it's about the little decisions, minimizing losses, just everything like that. It's designed to make you just feel powerful under absolutely oppressive odds, and it also tasks you with making incredibly difficult decisions.
Of course, being a video game, XCOM has to praise the player in some capacity. It has to be like, wow, you're doing such a great job, every now and then. Otherwise, whoever's playing it will just I don't know, get tired, uninstall the game, completing a mission. You get Bradford Central, the guy who basically acts as your surrogate voice as the commander. Was also like, wow, great job, all that stuff. But failing is important because it makes the successes so much better. When you fail, you hear broadcasts from Advent propaganda saying, the Resistance XCOM members have been defeated. You're basically mocked by the entire Advent administration. And it's not explicitly stated ever, but the council sometimes just straight up doubts your leadership capabilities. And because of this, when you succeed, when everyone's in good spirits, when the Resistance radio is rattling off encouragement, it all feels like you're really contributing something to the world. Your actions got your soldiers out safely. It's what got you a flawless mission. It just did everything right. It's all on you and nothing else. Maybe some bad RNG, who knows? Maybe some bad chance, bad rolls, whatever. Also, the sheer oppressiveness of Advent, the Avatar project, everything else that's going on, it all works against you in the best way possible. It stops you from getting too comfortable with anything. Dark Project's just shaking up the way a mission plays out. Like, you could get ambushed, some Advent troops could return fire, maybe your soldiers will get kidnapped on covert missions, etc. Who knows? When going on a mission in XCOM, it's not like your victory isn't guaranteed, given all the other elements I've mentioned. The random numbers, the amount of enemies, the disadvantage you're always at. And because of how difficult that is, you're tasked with making like really spur of the moment decisions, not really based on any sort of like long-term plan. Like, you've got to think about the long term, or otherwise everything's going to fall apart. But you also have to not just give up on the short term. Like, if a mission is tasking you to save a VIP, and the VIP's in a really tough situation, and trying to protect them could cost you all of your units, or you get yourself into a position where all of your units are at risk because the VIP's under fire or the VIP dies, there's not really any reason to reload a previous save file. You can keep going. You'll lose, you'll get some disadvantages, but it's always possible to recover from that. That's more fun, anyway, in my opinion. Other spur-of-the-moment decisions you've got to make are like just minimalizing casualties during camp raids, ignoring certain troops, enemy troops on the field, so you can get out of there safely without wounding your soldiers so badly they'll spend like a month in the infirmary. Who knows? The aliens themselves are also just like really well designed in general. Like the sectoids coming from the previous XCOM game, the sectoids have gone from classic Roswell, New Mexico, gray aliens to this weird hybrid of humanoid traits and alien physiology. So like, of course they have longer limbs and a mouth and all that stuff. They still have the big black eyes. They've got just some really disturbing teeth things that don't really look right. It's not human, they're too long. Musons, well, honestly, Musons are a bit underwhelming. I would have preferred their bulkier counterparts from Enemy Within. Like, lore reasons, it makes sense. Like, Advent's cutting down on resources after taking over the Earth, but it just... Big Musons look better. That's just the bottom line. Oh. I do miss the Thin Men, though. No amount of snitties can ever make up for that. There's just something cool about them incorporating some sort of Men in Black style conspiracy in there. Alien infiltrators dressed in suits with glasses to hide their inhuman eyes, you know? It's all pretty cool. In between missions, resource management is also incredibly important. I mean, without resources, how are you going to mount a resistance? Assigning like engineers to clean rubble, doing research on various technologies, better armor for your soldiers, better weapons, alien autopsies to make sure you can discern some sort of secret that Advent might have against you. It all depends on time, and time is something you're always short on, so you have to prioritize your time, since it takes time to get from place to place. That's also time. You have to make it the sacrifice of avoiding a rumor of a supply drop somewhere in exchange for hanging out in New Mexico to build a connection with the resistance there. That was a mistake I made when I first played through XCOM 2. I was like, oh man, I can't get any of this stuff done. I'm constantly having to fly all over the place. There's these supply drops over here and this intel over here, and there's a supply raid going on all the time, and I just didn't know what to do. I was so overwhelmed. But then replaying it again, I discovered that like a lot of the supply and intel stuff doesn't disappear immediately, unlike supply drops or guerrilla ops or supply raids. The rumors and stuff stick around, so you don't have to do it instantly. As of right now, I'm replaying through the campaign. It's where I'm getting the footage from. I'm at about June in the campaign, and I still haven't scanned the black market yet, because I've mainly just been focusing on getting different connections up to get different continent bonuses, such as like instant supply drops rather than having to scan at them for 3 days. There's definitely some bonus supplies I could be getting from the black market that I haven't been able to get yet because I've been prioritizing other things. But ultimately it's felt a lot more freeing, and that's an important thing. Like, if you've never played XCOM before, it's important to realize that, like, sacrifices must be made. That's like the bottom line of every single decision that you make in the game. You need to sacrifice things based on, like, the immediate priority while also planning for the long term.
Enemies down.